Okay, now what we're going to do now is going to test you guys, see if you can come up with the answers for the problems that we have. You also the problems. Imagine there was now a leadership, there were Panj Pyare behind us, and let's say I'm like the convener, yeah? Panj Pyare sitting there, right? And I'm like just helping to do the state secretary, samajh lo, yeah? Panji, read the first problem out again.
Lack of unity.
Okay, so, well, how can we solve the lack of unity? That's all. And you tell me the solution. What's the solution to lack of unity?
Just to keep your own wrath, don't look after for others that they are doing.
Okay, so don't argue with people about the controversies, right? Stick to your own personal wrath, and then when it comes to maybe in a group, don't worry about that stuff. Don't sit there, larna, hai na? That's one way if you can avoid the problem. There was an Oxford philosopher. He wrote this book, and it was called, he's a logistician. He looked into logic, and empiricism, I think it's called, yeah? He said, look, there's some questions that have an answer. Because if the question has an answer, then it's a logical question, you can answer it. But there's some questions that don't have an answer, therefore they cease to be questions. Because you haven't got an answer, what's the point of asking that question? You haven't got an answer for it. One of the funny things for him, one of the questions was, is there a God? Because you can't answer that, you can't prove it to anybody. So there's no point to arguing about it. Probably a good idea not to argue about that point, yeah? However, some of the problems we're facing now with Ragmala, Kes ki Kakar, length of Banis, have we got the answer? We've been arguing about them for the last 50, 60 years. Have we got an answer that everybody accepts? No. So what if we just stopped asking that question? We say, we haven't got an answer for this. Let's park it. Take it, let's park it. Maybe Maharaj will come down. Until Guru Govind Singh comes back, let's park that one. Nothing wrong with that idea. Hanji.
The found one book in Guru Sahib can solve this problem. Controversies. There's a one book in Gurbani which helps me a lot. Man ko mat maan kare je hon ke chadanda Gurmukh ne mana hoye.
Translate it.
We should not proud of what we know, and we should be humble and just respect for others too.
We can play that game part, we throw shabbos around the same things, yeah. Jodi se gur sikhra, this niv laga pajiyo, yeah. That would be an amazing thing if we actually follow that. You know, the bachan from Bhai Jagraj, I think it's Bhai Jagraj, isn't it? He says, Jodi se gur sikhra, this niv laga pajiyo. We touch the feet of a gur sikh rather than sit there worrying about, what they're doing in this specific little bit of red. 95% is the same, isn't it? So that's the solution you guys have come up with. Who agrees with that solution? We just don't argue about some of these issues. Put your hand up if you agree with that. How many people don't agree with it? Okay, so the Panj Pyare could say that, alright, from now on, we're not going to argue about, when we come together as a Panth every 6 months, we're not going to argue about these issues that we normally argue about. That's it. They just make the elan. Everybody says, Akal, put their hands up, right? That's it. It's been passed by the Sangat. Now, if there's a person who is, and they say, right, from now on, all Gur Sikhs who are Amritari, the hukum has come from the Panj Pyare for the Canada. They made a hukum, any Amritari in Canada who is seen publicly arguing and creating a fuss about these issues is going to be in front of Panj Pyare. Remember, ek paase mitha, ek paase soti. The Panj Pyare have to have the ability to give you the carrot and stick approach. Tankha hondi sigi. I didn't tell you this bit, so I kept it quiet. This tankha. The Panj Pyare are the guru. They can give you a punishment as well. They're not just there to say, Hanji, I'll lead you. They're there to punish people as well, because you can't have a law which is not enforced without some danda as well, yeah? Sanjana Singh is often called Dande Wale Baba, yeah? Because they would get stuff done and people worried. And if you listen to their speeches, they talk about this as well. And they go, look, I would have done something, you don't do anything, they don't escape. So that's what they were like. And the same way the Panj Pyare should be like that. They should be able to say, right, ex-Flana Banda, Facebook warrior, come here. Right? You know who they all are. Yeah, they exist out there. They cause so much arguments and fights. They bring them up. They go, what are you doing? Now this is the thing, this is how it works now. I'll show you an example, right? Raja Ranjit Singh, he married a Muslim lady, yeah, Nooran. She was a dancer, he married her. Sing is forbidden in Guru Gobind Singh, it's forbidden for marrying a Muslim lady. Forbidden, yeah? A Sikh cannot do that. So, Raja Ranjit Singh was called up to the Akal Takht by Akali Phula Singh. Called him up. He was an Akal Takht Jahedar. Said, what's Sitani? Bring him up here. Ranjit Singh goes, I'm not going. I'm the king of the country. Khalsa Raj Raja, yeah? Why should I go? They called him a couple of times, he didn't listen. He said, okay. Akali Phula Singh issued a hukamnama. So, Raja Ranjit Singh, it was called up by Akali Phula Singh, he didn't turn up. Akali Phula Singh, guess what he did? He goes, right. No Sikh is to speak to Ranjit Singh. Hukamnama aa gaya from Akal. No one is to speak to him. If you're a Sikh, not just Amir Tari, no Sikh is to speak to Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh gets up in the morning and he goes out of his doorman. The doorman doesn't say Fateh to him. He goes to go horse riding. First in the morning he's go horse riding. The guy who gives it a horse, don't talk to him. By midday, Ranjit Singh's realized he can't rule a kingdom when no one speaks to him. Sikhani gal kar do na. At that time the Sikhs had so much shraddha for the Akal Takht and for the Jahedar, the Hukamnama Jahedar Akal Takht. They believed in it more than Ranjit Singh. He was a king, but they believed in the Khalsa more than they believed in Ranjit Singh. Every Sikh believed in the Akal Takht. Yeah? So, Ranjit Singh then went in front of Akali Phula Singh in the end. Haar ke gaya. And they said to him, you're going to get whipped. That was his punishment, he was going to get a whipping. So he took his shirt off, put his arms around the post, tied it on, and he was ready for his whipping. And Akali Phula Singh forgave him. He's accepted the Khalsa is in charge. He accepted the whipping from the Khalsa even though he's a king. So we don't have to beat him to do his besti. So they just let him off. But at least the principle was made that he must accept the Khalsa as his guru and his king. So he's a Sarkari Khalsa. So now we have a problem of unity. It only really shows itself when we start having arguments. So whoever is causing arguments gets put in front of Panj Pyare. And they say, what are you doing? And then the Panj Pyare can say, right, innu tankha mili hai. Yeah? Maybe make him do like Jode di seva for the other Jatheband that he's against, whoever the Gurdwara is, make him work for like 6 months and they roz svere Jode di seva kare. That's the great seva to do, isn't it? Yeah? And you know what? That person after 6 months, what they would get appreciation that these people wake up in the morning, come to Gurdwara, do Naam, same thing that he does, they're doing as well. And maybe he or she will stop being such an internet warrior about these things, yeah? See? Solution, a problem, solution you gave yourself, yeah? What was the next problem, Benji?
There's a lot of drugs and alcohol abuse.
Okay, drugs and alcohol abuse. Okay, how can we solve drugs and alcohol abuse? Tusi dasso? Hanji. Get people willing to Sikhi. That's why I like your thinking. That's why it's the best way to get them out about drugs and alcohol. Give them Naam. Naam Kumari Nanaka. Chale rahe din raat, yeah? So that's a good one. Okay, so more prachar. So the Panj Pyare could say, right, we need to make a proper prachar team for Canada. We need about 15, 16, or we need 20 prachariks in each province. Right, step up. Who can do pratha? Like we grab people today. They say, right, oh, Gulin ko preaching kar diye, leke aao. Right, you're not doing that job anymore. You're doing it. Hanji, and bhi khada kar do. Right, you're doing prachar now. Yeah, Hanji. Okay, physical activities and our own jaga. Is that what you're saying? I can't hear you. You can speak up a little bit. Okay, so the Khalsa said, right, every 6 months when we get together for Sarbat Khalsa, let's have a Jod Mila. We have like competitions, exercise competitions and stuff like this. Gurdwara against Gurdwara. Bench press competition. So people are now trying to do like bench press and press ups, right? And it's good sports, right? The Panj Pyare could organize the resources of the community, couldn't they? They could say, Flana Gurdwara, and these are 5 Gurdwara in Toronto. We're going to buy a place in Toronto for exercise. Every Gurdwara has to give X amount of money to make that happen. And they give one person, like Singh over there into fitness, they go, right, he's in charge of the project, managing of that project. He's got these many resources from our Panth. Now get on with making the gym and project and come back in 6 months, tell us how it got along. And what do you need to make it happen? Oh, he goes, I need 5 or 6 people, right? We need 5 or 6 volunteers from the Khalsa of many Sikh who's prepared to do this properly and work with this person. Siyah suddenly becomes like, very solvable, isn't it? Hanji, hold us. So what was, any more solutions to drug and alcohol? No one's mentioned de-addiction centers.
Yeah, more support for people who have these problems, like absence and rehab.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and where they go and they can actually focus on seeking Sikhi in order to get better.
Okay, so now maybe we say, right, every Gurdwara needs to have a drugs counsellor, full-time employed. So how many is that, like 15 or 20, main ones across Canada? Every Gurdwara gets one, drug counsellor, right? We just work out what the budget for that is, and everybody has to get together, and they say, right, Sari Sarbat Khalsa, all the Khalsa, we need X amount of money for this project. This one goes to the Guru, innit? So if people, what's the problem with money now? Tell me. Do we give 10%? Why don't we give 10%? Tell me the reason why we don't give 10%. Hanji. We don't know where it goes. Trust, isn't it? Trust. Anything else? Why don't we give our 10% to the Guru? Oh, that's one. Why don't we give, our Sangat doesn't give, our community doesn't give 10% of its earnings to the Gurdwara? Well, no, just give it to the Guru. Like, the Guru Sahib said, give it to Greebs. People don't even give that 10%. I know you might, she's shocked, Bizarri. She's like, why don't they give 10%? Anji. Okay, we don't see an outcome, and we don't see that. Well, it's trust. It comes down to trust. Now the Panj Pyare are people that we all trust, right? And they account some banda who's an accountant and say, right, you're going to give all the accounts for this money. That's your job, right? Now, suddenly, people start trusting the Panj Pyare, right? They go, yeah, let's give them some money to do this project. Sounds like a really good project. We're going to have 15 drug counsellors in all across all the Gurdwara. Then we start solving that problem. So we've got more prachar now. We decide we need 20 more prachariks. We need X amount of drugs counsellors. We also need sports and activities, right? Then we say, chalo, that's enough for the first 6 months. Let's get that done in the first 6 months. Okay, so you had something to say? Okay, first 6 months, let's get this bit done. Let's see how we did it 6 months. And then maybe we said, okay, like another year's time, we're going to come back and see how if the prachar, if we got people off drugs, if we got people off these things, the councils come back and give their views, what happened, how can they improve that program. But at least they have someone to go and tell their views too. Other problems, Panji?
There's depression.
Depression? Okay, so the councils could do that problem, couldn't they? Firstly, what else could we do? Exercise helps depression, isn't it? And prachar helps depression. So it kind of seems like a very similar to the drugs issue, but just slightly different. Hanji.
Having Sangat outside of the Gurdwara, so when you get together with your friends, sports with the same people you do Sangat with.
Yeah.
So you kind of have your Sangat is your friend circle.
So, but what do you need to? What do we need to make that more prevalent and more accessible? What's stopping that happening now? Because if you give me the solution, but it has to be what can the Panj Pyare do about it? Sorry?
Can the Panj Pyare come talk to them? Also, you can approach the Panj Pyare, you can talk to them.
Okay, the Panj Pyare, they might be from all over. It's going to be hard for them. People, okay, but still, yeah, you're right. People can talk to the Panj Pyare, approach them and say, I got this problem. Can you help me? So that's Hanji.
Well, it comes back to the same thing with what he was talking about, sports and everything, right?
Yeah.
So outside, you need a little community, you need your Sangat as well.
So maybe we could buy a gym.
Yeah.
So
buy a gym. Drop in basketball. So everyone loves to play basketball. So you got to drop in basketball.
This every 6 months we have a competition, and every team during the year is training for that. So you have every Gurdwara gets a basketball team that plays, and they might say, right, every Gurdwara should pay some kind of fees and have access to some kind of gym nearby, or maybe build a gym or build a basketball court, nearby to the Gurdwara. In the Gurdwara car park, basketball court. Okay, go on to the next one, please.
Marital problems.
Again, that's counsellor. Gurdwara could say, right, we need a counsellor in every Gurdwara, definitely, yeah. And we need, maybe we have certain Gursikhs that we train other Gursikhs on, because the problem is, if you might hire marital counsellors, but if they're not Gursikh orientated, they're just going to get the same advice they get outside. We'd rather have somebody who is both a counsellor and knew a bit about Bani as well, so they can give them that guidance about Sikhi. Anji.
Yeah, I think maybe also take, there should also be, as you mentioned, there should be another calling towards part of the life. So then there's high.
Very good point. I forgot about that. Thank you. So, how about everybody who gets married in a Gurdwara has to go on a course and learn about Sikhi? So understand what is Sikhi before they start taking part in another college, and they're not knowing what to do with what's the. So there's no point in giving them, before they get married, they're trying to help us marital problem before it even starts. Yeah? Teach them a bit about Sikhi so they have a little bit more contentment. Hopefully, that will bring less problems in their marriage. Yeah? Benji had a point, Hanji. Oh wow. Two great minds think alike, Hanji.
Well, isn't that kind of what the Granthi should be for then? Because just like in Christianity, like before a couple gets married, they meet with the priest, and they have this similar type faith. They go through specific types of courses, and then that's to like, then the priest like tries to help them.
Okay, so then the problem here is now the granthis aren't very approachable, right? Okay, I'm gonna give you a solution now for the good. Here's a solution from me, right? Just something I was sitting there thinking, how can we sort these Gurdwara out? How can we sort these granthis out? Here's an idea. Anybody ever heard of TripAdvisor?
Yeah, the website?
Yeah. What happens on TripAdvisor? You go somewhere, what do you do?
Ratings and negative ratings.
You give it ratings, right? What about LinkedIn? Have you heard of LinkedIn?
Yeah.
You have a CV online, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about WikiLeaks? Have you heard of WikiLeaks?
Yeah.
Information is made online. Why don't we combine all three and make like a Gurdwara LinkedIn database with like ratings on every Gurdwara, and then alongside that, stick in like all the documents the Gurdwara doesn't want you to see. Put them all online. It's called the Institute of Gurdwara Governance. We've hired someone to build it. Yay. So we're going to build this thing. We're going to build that. We hired a project manager. We're going to hire a developer. It's going to be like a LinkedIn for Gurdwara. You can go in there, log in and say, in this Gurdwara, these are the committee members. I suggest all of you go and give them a hug, take a picture with them, and then put that picture on that page. This is the person. Cut yourself out and stick the picture in there, so we know who these people are. Gurdwara committees, they're successful because they're anonymous. No one knows who these people are. Mr. Fana, and you don't know anything about them. Now we can start populating the information about them. Put a LinkedIn that this person worked here to here, currently owns this business. This is their face. This is what they look like. That's it. If you met them, you can do a recommendation of them. If you work with them, LinkedIn's got recommendations. Obviously you're temperate, so it's not pure Nindya.com, yeah, but it needs to be like tempered a little bit. But at least we know who these people are, and they know that we are watching them just as much as they're watching us. Now they get linked to the Gurdwara. The database has X amount of people, but it's linked to a place. And the Gurdwara, you can rate the Gurdwara. Langus, man, no good, full of fatty food, whatever. Yeah? Give it ratings. Oh, this place is great, they use healthy food, they use organic milk, they use organic flour and stuff. Yeah? The toilets in this place are miserable, don't ever go there, yeah? Mother's rating. Is it kin friendly? You can give it different criteria and you can rate that Gurdwara. And get us what else you can do? Best Gurdwara in the country award. Best Gurdwara for Prachar. Most family friendly Gurdwara. Right? And then you fight them, now they're competing against each other to be the best Gurdwara. Yeah? So you can create an internal market, they compete against. Then the examples of best practice. This Gurdwara became the best Gurdwara for kid-friendly stuff. How did they do it? Let's send Sarbat Singh to go and interview them and work out what they did. Right? Make a little video. Example of best practices called in the industry. Yeah? And suddenly the other Gurdwara, start copying them. Where did you get your toilets from? Where did you get that? Let's get some more people. You know what I mean? Improve the Gurdwara, yeah? And the Panj Pyare could give it the agya. They could say to all the Sangat, you must all rate your Gurdwara on this website. Samajh rahe ho? People aren't going to do it otherwise. Sabru mil gaya. You have to go and rate this Gurdwara. Apna pao, jithe bhi gaye, put the rating in. Hanji Panji.
I just think maybe people think this might be a little bit funny what you're saying and maybe not taking it too seriously, but we still live in California, and when certain hospitals implemented the baby-friendly policy and were trying to lower their C-sections, because the World Health Organization was reporting on which hospitals were having higher rates than others, they did pit them against each other, and were saying Kaiser has an initiative to reduce it by 10% in 3 years. They know that the business is going to go to those hospitals, and they really did drop it 12% over a couple of years, so it does work.
No, these guys are laughing because they know it'll work. But they just like laughing because it's like something revolutionary, and people like our Panth, they don't jump. Some people are jumping on the idea. Other people are like, oh, I don't know, maybe because they haven't seen it yet. That's all it is. I got laughed at when I said I'm going to start making YouTube videos. I was at Amritwala, they sing music go together, and he goes, I said, we've got so many problems, man. He goes, yeah, but what are you going to do about it? I said, I think I'm going to start making YouTube videos. It's like, who's going to watch you? that was like 2.5 years ago. So this is how it works, right? You just have to make it. You have to make it before people start buying into it. There's no point telling someone an idea. Our community is full of people sending you ideas that never happen. You might as well make it first. Anyway, this is just one idea for you guys, right? So then suddenly you can have this, the Gurdwara could start becoming, and then you could do things like, for example, all the Gurdwara in Toronto, they all buy milk, right? They all buy flour. So what if you bought it together? You bought it, you get a better rate. You could probably get organic food for the same price as the stuff you get outside, because you then you're working together, you're buying bulk buying, right? And any wastage can go from one gurdwara to another gurdwara at a subsidized price, rather than have to have this thing and then throw it away. Yeah?
That's a dream.
It's not a dream.
No, that like it's
it's
hard.
like it's a really good thing to do.
No. It's a dream in the fact that for Gurdwaras to work together.
No, but
because of the committee members,
right.
and like how the difference that
but
they
now
have.
what you do is you show like these. Tell the Sangat. What do Gurdwara rely upon? The Sangat. Yeah. You start telling. You educate the Sangat. This is the best Gurdwara. So the Sangat now starts to choose which Gurdwara to go to. They go, oh, I didn't realize that Gurdwara is really good at Prachar. They got this great program for kids. Why are we going to this Gurdwara? Let's go to that Gurdwara. You know, like best schools ratings happen. People move near schools because they got good ratings. Well, the best Gurdwara for teaching kids will start getting people moving near them. Those that are interested. And what will happen is the community start competing for Sangat, because they're like, oh, we're online now. People know what we're doing. They know our names, they know our committee, they know our elections, they know all the things about us. So they start getting a bit worried. And then you say, look, all the Sangat in Nova Scotia got together and they will buy their food together and they saved X amount. We can offer the Sangat X amount of savings, but your committee wale won't let you. So every day the Gurdwara committee gets a phone call from somebody saying, hey, why don't you guys buy together? There's a system, these guys have a system you can use. The Panj Pyare set it up. There's a bulk buying team, and the cost reduction team of the Panj Pyare, and they can offer you that service. And then the Gurdwara's like, why don't we opt in and save some money? Yeah, you got to hit them where it hurts. Right? Sangat starts complaining to them, why aren't you joining and saving money? Hanji.
Food co-ops really work. You don't even have to know the people. Like on one is just a mailing list, and somebody gets all the names of everyone who wants to buy, and they order it, and you get it delivered, and you save so much money. And it's really popular thing now.
We're doing it in London. We'd buy raw milk. It's organic raw milk. All the things buy it together from a farmer. Farmer's like biggest ties is driving down to drop it off to these things in West London, straight from the farm. And makhan and all that kind of stuff as well. Hanji. Some committee members become Hankari? There's no doubt. There's some committee already Hankari now. what do you mean? If they got rating high, they'd get Hankari, yeah? No, this is just reward. Look, everything you do in Sikhi can give you Hankar. You start doing part, you can get Hankar from it. Doesn't mean you stop doing part. You take Amrit, you can get Hankar from it. Doesn't mean you stop taking Amrit. Everything comes with is a double A. That's why it's Khanyot Tikki Walu Nikki. So you never stop doing something in case it gives you Hankar. There's people that are very good at Katha, but they won't do it because they're scared of getting Hankar. What does that mean? We talked about this last night. When the Panth needs a Katha, you just do Katha. When the Panth needs you to wash dishes, you wash dishes. Whatever is needed, that's what you do. You're a soldier. Right? And it's your job to fight the Hankar anyway. Yeah, you got to fight Hankar just walking around. Just walking around, you get Hankar. You can't stop walking around, you can't stop breathing. Yeah, it's everywhere. You know? So the only solution to Hankar is Naam. You can't stop doing stuff because you might get Hankar. No. Basics would not be here. And I didn't want to put my face up there. None of this stuff would have happened at all from my point of view. How the people doing Katha in this camp, they would never have done anything. Yeah? It's your job to fight Hankar anyway. Actually, in a way, if you do nothing, you never get tested. You sit at home, you might think, you never done anything. You never done anything. I'm not involved in anything. No one's. But actually, you got loads of it. When you go outside and start doing stuff, and then you get to fight your Hankar every day, then you can reduce your Hankar. If you're never fighting your Hankar, how will you reduce it? You have to put yourself in that situation, isn't it? Like we said yesterday, the first day, about how the gold is purified. The gold is purified by a very tough process. It's not purified just by leaving the ore there. It goes through fire. Yeah? It goes through fire, and and it has to be purified through a hard way. Okay, go through other problems, because this is just one solution for you guys, yeah? But this would be something that could work. Hanji.
There's lack of transparency in the Gurdwara, and they're politically and financially corrupt.
Okay, but that was the same point here about the Gurdwara. So you could put up the finance of the Gurdwara on the thing, you put the accounts. You could then have the Gurdwara audited by your own independent. The Panth the Panj Pyare might say, right, we need to have an independent audit team going to every Gurdwara and audit them to see how good they are on their accounts. Yeah, and the Gurdwara committee doesn't accept it. What would happen? Gurdwara committee says, no, I'm not going to have you audit my accounts. What would happen? Boycott. The Gurdwara, the Panj Pyare say, no more Sangat to go to that Gurdwara. Jana hi nahi. Until they come over here and order their finance, no one is to give any penny to them. You watch after 2 months how they come begging back. Nahi, please, kar lo. Yeah? How does it work though? It works with the Sangat listen to the Panj Pyare. Kumbhe bada jal rahe, jal bine kumbh na hoye. You can't do this without the Sangat getting involved and accepting the Panj Pyare. It is definitely going to be both ways. They work for us, but unless we work for them, it won't work either. ठीक है ना? Okay. Other problems, Panji?
Caste system still exists.
Caste system still exists. Give me a solution to caste system still exists. Come on, guys. Hanji.
Hypothetically, in this scenario, you already chose Panth Pyare that are different ones.
Okay, so the Panj Pyare are different castes, right? What else? You could have done Khai in it. If somebody's out there causing problems on caste, bring them to the front. You know, Flani Kudi comes up, says, my parents won't let me marry this Singh who we like each other, and he's of a different caste, and they're all Amritari, and they won't let me marry him. And they go, right, Tankha. Yeah, you got to spend whatever 2 months doing Jodi in the other Gurdwara where predominantly those people go. ठीक है ना? Because you're believing in caste. Do you see what I mean? And the Panj Pyare telling you, you know, and they say, right, if you don't, they say, many karna. Say, right, then no one spoke to you. The whole Panth says, Jo bhi Amritari hai, don't talk to this person. Imagine that pressure on a parent. No one, the Gurdwara, no one's supposed to talk to this person. They'll soon say, nahi, maaf karna. Meri galti hogi, mainu maaf kar dena. You see what I mean? It's all about leadership. It needs people at the front who are prepared to take stands and give tankha or support or promote stuff as well. Hanji.
Just a quick question. All the stuff you're saying is based on the fact that people will actually listen to.
Hanji.
Like, what if
I knew
people
you'd get
don't-
there something.
Like, what if people don't listen to?
Okay. Okay.
You're gonna have people. You're gonna have like a lot of majority of people still believing in the caste system, and they're gonna form like another group, which is gonna create more divisions within the Panth. Like, how would you?
I don't think you'd be able to form a Panj Pyare of the Jats, you know what I mean, or of the Tarkhans. I don't think that would happen. I don't think they'd ever get around that. So they wouldn't be able to form an alternative system based upon caste. They might just say, they might ignore. How it works is this, right? Initially, only the people that turn up on that time have to be able to accept it. Obviously, the Sangat that turns up to that Panj Pyare initial meeting, when they choose the Panj Pyare, the Sangat has to do ardas as well, that we are going to accept these Panj Pyare. Panj Pyare do ardas, Mara Sanu Seva, which Bal Bakshna, that we do the Seva properly along to Gurmat. But the Sangat must do an ardas, okay, Maharaj, we are going to accept. The thing you're forgetting here is not just the Panj Pyare, they don't just come once a year, 3 years. We meet every 6 months. It's continually looking at the same problems again and again and coming out with better solutions. So if we have got this problem where some people aren't listening, then we can come up with a solution to that. But if we never get together and talk, we're never going to come up with a solution. Yeah? Nothing is unsolvable. It just takes time. Maybe you decide, right, these guys need some education. They're not going to listen yet. Let's start teaching them Sikhi. Let's start doing prachar in that place. Let's send loads of prachariks there first. Do 1 year of groundwork, prachar. Then come back and tell them why they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. Yeah? Hanji.
Panj Pyare could use like social media to promote everything they're doing and tell people.
Yeah, they got to be online. They can't be like the, you know, Facebook ki onda yaar. Twitter ki onda, Twitter. They have to be literate. They might not be the best at it, but they have to understand how it works, and maybe they have somebody who's a specialist that kind of runs that page for them and stuff. But they have to be able to kind of converse with modern technology, and you know, hopefully, if I was in Canada, I'd say the Panj Pyare should speak English. That's actually one of the criteria. They've got to be fluent in English. Otherwise, it's like really hard to, you know, they've got to be at world level. They can't be like, you know, world level. They've got to be. This is Katha by Sant Hardev Singh. Got a world level. I love that. But they have to be able to cope with politicians and meetings, important people and stuff. So yeah, the English should be part of that. Yeah. Hanji.
I think part of the caste system thing is that it comes down to not being educated from a younger age about it, right?
Right.
Because there's a lot of old habits and there's a lot of old mentality that goes into that, right? Because obviously, you know, people like, all right, we might joke about it or something, say lightheartedly, right? But behind the scene, we don't really mean like to believe in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, you know, there's a video on our channel called "The Caste, the Truth About the Caste System." You see that one? It's a monkey example. So there was an experiment, a social experiment. They got these monkeys, 4 of them, and they put them into this box, which was like had a banana in one corner, but the floor was all the 4 floor walls, everything was electrocuted. So they could press a button and they would electrocute the monkeys. So they put the monkeys in there, and every time that one of the monkeys went for the banana, they electrocuted all of them. Right? So after some time, all the monkeys stopped going for the banana because they're like, anybody went for it, they all got electrocuted. So they all stopped. Then what happened? They took one monkey out and they put a fresh monkey in. Now the fresh monkey is always going to go straight for the banana, right? As soon as he went for the banana, all the other 3 monkeys jumped on that monkey. They stopped, don't go for the banana. And now they kept jumping, and every time he went for it, in the end, right, that monkey stopped going for the banana as well. Because he was like, if I go for it, I get beaten up. So he stopped. Then they took one of the original monkeys out again, and they put in another fresh monkey. Now what happened is, as soon as he went for the banana, all 3 again jumped on him. Including the one monkey who didn't know there was electricity, yeah? They did this again and again until basically no one was going for the banana, but none of that old monkeys were there. The new monkeys just jumped on anybody else who went for the banana. The rule was no one goes for banana. The rule had changed from we get electrocuted, now it was changed to no one eats the banana. Whoever goes gets beaten up. See, this is how the caste system is, yeah? Initially it was started because there was penalties for caste. For breaking your caste there was penalties. People could get killed for marrying outside caste. People would get beaten up for breaking caste rules. It was very harsh. So what happened is, the parents, they started telling their kids from a young age how good it is to be the caste that they're in. It's social conditioning. They start telling you, it's really good what we are. Those guys are all crazy. Don't ever marry out of caste. The reason they did that is because they want their kids to either get depressed about the fact that they're oppressed, or they want them to break the rules. So the rules were enforced by the parents. Over time, everybody forgot about that. There was the reason we started this is because people got beaten up, and it became part of the system, ingrained. Now what we got to do is remember that there's no more such injunctions. No one gets beaten up or killed for marrying out of caste or for talking to people of another caste. And if we start to put that into people again and again, that this was constructed, you constructed the caste system to keep yourself down, to suppress yourself, but now you don't have to, then we'll come away from it. Education again, what Paji said. Haji.
It was also enforced by the British.
Yeah. That's the second video we made about the British, how the British divided up as well. They were all about breaking people up into different groups and working out what they were. Okay, other problem, Panji? Let's go for that quick one.
Male-focus-oriented leadership.
Okay, Panji, give me a solution to that. Another solution, Haji. That's one good way. Go on. Solution. Yeah. Right. So you might say, right, we need 20 BBM. Look at that. We need like, so this Gurdwara, next Pradhan's got to be a woman. Right. You might just say, right, that's the rule. You have to have a female Pradhan. Every Gurdwara for the next 5 years got to have good female Pradhans. The Panj Pyare could say, this is the rule. We have to do it. And then, okay, initially it might be like, somebody's like, but the other guy used to do it better. But still, that's because it's been so long, then you haven't had that experience, so it takes time. You have to be patient and build it up. This system itself is not going to work straight away. It's going to take years for us to settle into this system. There's going to be loads of bumps along the way. But you can do it. Like we've hired a female pracharak, okay? We're looking to hire more. Hopefully going to push some of these guys into it. But the point is, it only changes when you start putting effort and time into it. Anji Bhaji, you have something?
There should not be any person called as Pradhan, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Das and Das should be in it. Das and Das, Sevadar, Hanji. Okay, what else?
Unorganized Khalsa, and because of that there's lack of leadership.
Okay, so now we're starting to get a bit organized, aren't we? If we did this, we would get organized. So that would be one way of getting rid of that. Any problems that people have, they could bring it to the Panj Pyare. The Panj Pyare shouldn't just be the kind of people that you go and moan to. You know, like Punjabis, they go and moan. No, if you got a problem, come up with a solution. Then go to the Panj Pyare and say, I got a solution to this problem that we have. Why don't you let me run this project? They go, okay, find somebody else. Let's look at you if you got your skill set. It's a good idea. Let's do it. Hanji.
Lack of prachar.
Okay, lack of prachar. Well, like basics, like what we're doing is trying to make prachar full time. Panj Pyare of the UK, if they came along, they could say, right, basically, you're going to get X amount of budget now from the Panj Pyare Direct. Extra money for you, no worrying about money. Get out there and do more prachar. What else? Maybe we build a Vidyalaya, like I was crossing about this. Maybe buy a jaga somewhere, maybe here or England or somewhere, We buy some land, and that land becomes like a Prachar training center. We get some people from India who can teach Katha, Santhya, some people who can teach Rag, Tabla, and they build this center, and you can just go there and spend like 1 year learning Santhya, Rag, Kirtan, everything. You come out and you're ready, shoot you out like a Prachar wherever you go. Like
a missionary?
Yeah, missionary college, but this time there's not a missionary mat. It is not a missionary mat. There could be another, but the point is that they train you up. We haven't got one in the West. We've only got people in India. You have to go to India to do Prachar. But we don't have to go to India. We can make one that is trained. Maybe Panj could become our next Pracharak. Point is, you could run a Vidyalaya. We could set one up. It's funding that's required, right? And the buy-in from the Sangat that this is not something dodgy. Parents saying, "No, you should send our kids there." Maybe make a rule like every kid's got to go there for 6 months. Like what they have national service? Maybe we have the same thing. Everybody has to learn Bani. When they're 18, everybody's got to go to this place and do 6 months of Santhya. Come out. Maybe that's our main problem. We can't read Gurbani. Everybody's got to go there from 16 for 6 months. They go there, right? Hanji.
There's one that is open as like there's Punjabi class for beginners, and then there's Santhya for beginners, and then Santhya like advanced.
Yeah.
And then Kirtan classes, Tabla classes.
Where's that?
And then it's back. There's like a Gurdwaras class as well.
Brilliant. So then maybe that becomes like we look at that system and we say, right, what resource do we need to give to this thing to make it a nationwide thing? So it becomes big enough to cope with that demand nationwide. Like someone like Jagraj Singh, great at teaching Santhya, and get him to sit down and become the main guy of the Vidyalaya teaching Santhya. Find some guy from Jawari Taksal who's great at teaching Kirtan, bring him over and say, right, he's become the Kirtan teacher over here. Find some other guy who's great at Tabla, right? Just find the best teachers and then say this is a 1 year course, right? And it costs this much money, or what is subsidized for people that don't have that much money, but the Sangat funds it, and then you just go there and you learn. The Vidyalaya is based upon what? Oh, no, I'm not talking about the one in. I'm just saying. This is the concept. Doesn't have to be this one. Donation. I think Prachar is based on donation. Should be, right? They shouldn't charge any money. But the thing is when it comes someone turning up saying, "I want to eat, I want to live here," you might get people that are a bit lazy. Like kuch nahi karna. Chalo, I'll go sit in the Vidyalaya for a year. You know what I mean? So you have to have a little bit of a price on it, just so that you deter the people. Maybe you have like, the price isn't that, but you have to do like X amount of seva, hours of seva, or hard work, or maybe you have a farm attached to the Vidyalaya where you've got to get up every morning and do like two hours of farming work. And all those lazy people are like, no, thank you, maaf karna, I'm not going to that. But you have to have some kind of built-in system to watch out for the lazy people. Yeah, we don't need alas in our panth, right? Alas to hatana hai. Hanji.
We tend to look like the Khalsa, but we don't really keep the Rahat.
Okay. No, I think that you misunderstood that point. The point is you were saying, right, we're too much focus on the outside, not enough focus on the inside is what you were saying, isn't it? Right? So then maybe you say, right, from now on, okay, the rule is anybody can do Kirtan in Gurdwara, doesn't have to be Kesatari. Well, I don't know why the rule existed that only people with case can do Kirtan in Gurdwara. That doesn't make no sense to me. When we had like the Babi tradition, people weren't even sick of doing Kirtan. So maybe we start changing the rules. Yeah? And then we encourage, maybe we do basic Sikhi courses in every Gurdwara, like we, not just our one, I'm just saying like, we pump the Prachar and make people feel like they're part of it. We do loads of more street Prachar on the street and give out, invite people who are not Sikhs to come into Gurdwara for open days. And we start making it more about Naam Simran. Yeah? Every Gurdwara must have Naam Simran from 8 at this time to this time. We pick Gur Sikhs niche se tusi utthe nahi karna apne kamre vich, utthe jaake karo. Yeah, we need to get more people involved in Simran and part. You know what I mean? There's these solutions to all these problems, right? There's just a couple I've just come up with now off top of the head. I'm sure if we had the Panj Pyare here, they'd come up with even better systems. And then how to enforce it and get it across. Sanji.
Female infanticide.
Female infanticide, right. What can we do about female infanticide? Come on.
Education.
Okay, education. So Prachar, education specifically on this issue, right? Okay. It'd be hard for us to do something in India about this. Most of the infanticide happening in India, right? But here's the solution. What if you found out somebody here who had committed infanticide? Guru Gobind Singh said, anybody who commits female infanticide, Kudimar, is no longer a Sikh. No one is to talk to this person. They're out of the Panth. Did you know this? Right? How many people do you think outside know this? In our Panth. So maybe you have a big sign every Gurdwara. If you are found having committed female infanticide, you will be barred from this Gurdwara. You will not be allowed in. And you invite people to tell us if this happened. If you can prove somebody got their daughter killed when she was a baby, or when she was in the cook, yeah, then this person gets banned from the Gurdwara for life, right? Unless they go in front of Panj Pyare and they admit their mistake and do forgiveness, even maybe the Panj Pyare can decide because the Guru can forgive. But otherwise, this person in Hukamnama, no one speaks to Flana Banda, they commit. Now if it started happening in Canada, when the news get to India, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਕੁੜੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਮਾਰਤੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਛੇਤਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ people in India are getting scared really I didn't know that was against Sikhi is it really that bad yeah no one talks to her she committed suicide I heard whatever the point I'm trying to tell you is this is a serious issue but it's not going to get solved by people who are soft say koi na a serious issue needs a serious jawab as well. A serious response. Okay? That's one way. I'm just thinking top of my head. I'm sure the Panj Pyare come out with even better systems. Maybe somebody else is more, can come up with a better idea and we can do that. What I'm saying is you got to have the danda, the carrot and the stick approach. You got to have both. Acha, last.
Lack of youth leadership.
Okay, lack of youth then maybe we need to set up youth leadership training programs. Yeah? We set up programs where, like, for example, this camp is like, we're trying to do a bit of a leadership program here. You guys are running the camp by yourselves, aren't you? So you're getting leadership experience. Then we said to Benji, you into Katha now. Yeah, that's it. So she's being pushed into Katha. Now, maybe somebody else comes along, the project manager. We say, right, you're running this project. But maybe we have like Gurdwara committee training as well. Harjinder Singh Lali is a singer in England. Try to do a Gurdwara training program. Like maybe over here, Gurinder Singh and his guys in Calgary that got over the Gurdwara, they come over here and they run workshops on how a Gurdwara runs. Because demystify it for you guys. Then they put you in leadership positions. They say, the Panj Pyare say, right, in a Gurdwara there must be a youth wing, and the youth wing must be learning from the older people. So hand over power. Yeah, natural progression of power. It could happen as well. And over time people will get experience in running stuff, then they'll say, you know what, we can do this by yourself. Tusi har jao, aram kar lo. We'll do the hard work now. It's got to be done in a way that everybody can be happy.